Hi, everybody. This is Dave Parker with the ICCG. Grant is not with us today, but I've got Jeff Rogers and John Kaminsky with OneAccord Capital Advisors with us again today, and excited to have you with us because, as we're partnering with deals up in the Northwest, we're excited to have them share some best practices with us and us with them. And one of the things we've talked about that we use in some of our as we're talking to business owners is this whole idea of what are 6 things that really affect the value of a business. I know we've talked similar about these in some previous videos, but I thought you guys did such a great job of this. I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you have at it today.
So hello, I'm Jeff Rogers and this is John Kaminsky, and we are managing partners of OneAccord Capital Advisors. And we are just thrilled to have you here with us as a business owner. And we're really talking about what are those aspects that affect the value of a company when it wants to go through an exit or transition, right?
Right. And there's really 6 things that you need to know about. Okay, there's minor things as well, but there's 6 real things that you need to worry about.
And we've kind of seen in working with over 450 private companies, as well as owning a portfolio of companies ourselves, that there are some of those that are out of your control. Exactly. And there are others that you can do things about. But I think it's good to be aware as you think about timing and opportunity of how all these things come together. So one of those is the overall market.
When the market is growing and frothy, and here we are in 2022 and the market's been strong for a long time, there's more money to invest, therefore companies are worth more.
Sure, you see things like interest rates, and right now there's a lot of questions economically. So the overall market. Another one is really, what about industry? How different is it?
The industry that you're in matters, but you're not going to change it at this point. But where that matters in terms of valuation is you don't value a manufacturing company the same way you would a software company or a restaurant company or anything like that. So the reason that that's important is when you're talking to your friends, you want to make sure that just because he got or she got some multiple for their company, you may not get the same multiple because it'd be different industries.
Yeah, really important to know. What about size? How does that affect the value?
Size matters, and it matters when it comes to profitability. What we're looking at is that the multiples that are applied to your profitability go up as your profitability grows up. So if you're under $1 million, it may only be 1 or 2 times. Cross $1 million, it may be 3 or 4. Cross $3 million, it may be 5, 6. Cross $5 million, it may be 8 to 10. So it starts to grow exponentially as your company is more profitable and larger because you're bringing in a larger buyer potential group.
What about, John, about cyclicality? So you could have a very profitable business, let's say. It could be the 3 million EBITDA company. But then what about the cyclicality of that business?
When a business is cyclical, there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. Mm-hmm. Buyers want to minimize risk. And so sometimes they may be more interested in a plumber that does service than a plumber that does new construction because they know that new construction is a cyclical market and therefore maintenance is stable regardless of where the economy is. So that you want to find some ways to combat that. Some ways you can do that by different services that are one season versus the other. My favorite example is Clorox when they owned Kingsford Charcoal. That's a very cyclical, seasonal business. Yeah. They went out and bought Duraflame logs. They could flip-flop one from the other in the grocery store, depending on the season.
Wow, how interesting. What about related to that concentration, customer concentration or segment concentration?
Right, there's 2 things there that really matters. And if you're at better than 15 to 20% of your revenue with any one customer, that's customer concentration. Some companies, 60, 80 plus % of their revenue with one company, there's a risk. Buyer, you lose that customer, what happens? Business isn't there. But the same thing can be said for industries segmentation. If you are, or product for that matter, if you have one product and everything is banked on that one product and somebody else comes out with a new one that replaces it, or that particular segment of the industry that you're in has a problem, it could go away. So diversification is better than concentration when it comes to the valuation of a company.
This could mean hiring salespeople in new segments or marketing or things like that. And the one that I think you can also do a lot about, what about owner dependency and the
Owner
effect of
dependency
that?
is the biggest one. And this is one you do have control over. Essentially, if you can't take a month, go off the grid, have your company fire on all cylinders, whether it's production, sales, finance, everything needs to be working. If that can't happen, then it's dependency on you as the owner. That's risk. Buyer wants to know when you walk out the door that company will continue to operate even without you. So you need to find those things that prevent you, that only you can do, that prevent you from taking that month off, and figure out how we can train others to do that. That's really important. Now, for most business owners, when I tell them that, they say, okay, that makes sense. Your business is worth more if you're not in it. Okay. And then they have the OMG moment of, I literally have to bet the farm on somebody else then.
I'll add to that. So if you look at owner dependency, there's really two areas that you can functionally look at to bring in. One are what systems or tools. We brought a ERP system in. We brought a CRM system into a company we acquired, right? And so that took a lot of the dependence on certain people to do it. And then the other thing is, you don't have to bank it all on one person.
Right. You can train multiple people.
Yeah, you can bring 2 or 3 in, someone in ops, someone in sales, someone in finance. So you're spreading out that risk.
Right. And just because you do all these things, that doesn't mean you can't divide those 3 or 4 important things that you do up between 3 or 4 people. You don't have to go find a unicorn that looks just like you.
So we really appreciate the opportunity to share these ideas and these 6 points on some things that you can actually do proactively to increase the value of your business.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much. That was really great information. I hope that you found it useful, and we look forward to having you again back on the ICCG videos next week.